fight through resistance. Right on the breakout, on this fake out with no assistance. Oh yeah. While the bears circle, the bids go purple, but I don't fold. Nah. You're golden, baby. I've watched you daily. I bought the hold. Buy and hold. No, I won't let them short you. Won't let them short you. Oh no, won't let them floor you. Won't let them floor you. So here's the bet. I leverage youth and traded all my debt. Bought back regret with calls I hadn't placed yet. Now here's the breach. My brokered soul just hit its peak, dressed in returns to clean to speak. Feeling alive, 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 alive. Should they halt you or dilute you? I still reload it. Shoved in my savings, ignored all warnings. I overdosed it. No regrets. You dipped in silence. I bought in defiance. I named that knife. Now they all whisper he's not a traitor. He gave it life. No, I won't let them shore you. Won't let them shore you. Oh no, I won't let them floor you. Won't let them floor you. So here's the bet. I leverage youth and traded all my debt. Bought back regret with calls I hadn't placed yet. Now here's the breach. My brokered soul just hit its peak, dressed in returns to clean to speak. No foot, no fear, just a moonlit high. Alive, 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 alive.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother.
Well, here we are with a little bit of a specialty episode, if you will. I figured it was useful for us to do this, being chaos is hitting the market right now. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but up until about 1 p.m., 12:45, things were stable today. We were hanging out above the low from yesterday and not really trending. And then all of a sudden, out of basically left field, tensions started to boil over in the Middle East, and namely, we got a report that there's a strong chance the U.S. will be getting directly involved with the whole Israel-Iran conflict. And as we know, since of Thursday of last week, every single day they've been kind of slinging bombs at each other. And then all of a sudden, maybe on Monday, we recover, not that bad. And it does appear as if the situation is unfortunately devolving very, very rapidly. So I figured instead of making an update video, it probably would be a little bit more helpful for all of us to try to figure this out together in real time before the market closes today, just because don't forget, tomorrow is massively important. FOMC meeting tomorrow. We get the results at 2 p.m. Jerome Powell speaking at 2:30. So basically, I wanted to hang out with you guys and chit chat and kind of bounce some ideas off of each other before really the market's closed today, because it feels as if decisions have to be made. I don't even want to look at my account right now because I assume it is getting rocked, but you could see what happened right here. Starting around 12:40, 12:45, smashed, and we cracked the low from yesterday once again, right before the turn of the hour, right before really this end of lunch, I suppose. And then it got really bad here an hour after that, around 1:45, and that's when things started to accelerate. And for some reason, you guys cannot see what I am showing you. Can you see it now? Can you see it? Nope, that is not right. Hang on one second. You should be able to see it now. Okay, cool. Now that's working. Yeah, you could see just pretty much started to accelerate at 12:45, got pretty bad at 1:45. And even right now, it looked like we were getting a little bit of a reprieve to start out power hour, but unfortunately, it is getting clocked once again. So as the SPY is getting hit, as the Nasdaq's getting hit, you're having oil absolutely rip it. And Bitcoin's starting to bounce back. That one's not getting sold back off. So we're going to see how this goes. We're going to see how this one goes. I have all the news sources. It is expected at some point we hear from Trump. Let me actually check in on some of this right now for us. All right, so as we are waiting for that to, oh shit, I don't think, basically we have Trump at the national security meeting right now. We know this 2 hours ago, midday, unconditional surrender, all cap, exclamation point. And it wasn't long after that that led to the literal selling right here. So that was at 12:40. This unconditional surrender thing was at 12:20. So literally it only took 20 minutes. So it's, I don't know, it's getting wild. Little bit later, an hour after that, Israeli officials say Prime Minister Netanyahu believes the U.S. will join Israel's war against Iran within days. So this was kind of the 1-2 punch. This got things to be a little bit froggy, if you will, midday. And then an hour after that, this report is really what got things going. And now we're all just kind of waiting. There's all these different news sources showing the sky. Like, we're just kind of waiting to see what happens. Right here, same shot. So this is it. I guess Fox right here is on a commercial break. Where's my CNBC? Okay, yeah, we're just waiting. Let me check one more source. I just want to make sure we're not missing any breaking news. Trump threatens Iran's leader, demands unconditional surrender, healthcare sector sell-off. All right, not the most important thing right now. New York City mayoral candidate Brad Lander arrested by ICE. Jesus. Okay. Well, it looks like today things are just going absolutely hectic. And I thought we'd get a little bit of a recovery. I wouldn't mind a recovery back up to 599. I have a position that is underwater currently. See how we're trading at 5983.84. I need that above 90 by market close today. I had sold some puts early today, and unfortunately, the gamma ramp is just completely screwing me right now. So I would love a pop back up to 599. I would love for the Qs to get above 530. Oil's going. That tells you how uncomfortable people are. Oop.
Major stories right here. The next one takes us out to California, where California Democrats are now speaking outside an immigration detention facility. They say they were illegally denied entry into that facility. So I did want to just play at least some of those remarks for you right now.
Oh, this is an interesting one. The Russian Foreign Ministry. Israeli attacks on Iran are illegal and create unacceptable threats to international security. Russia notes clear Iranian statements of adherence to the Non-Proliferation Treaty and readiness to resume contacts with the U.S. Al Jazeera, citing the AFP, Iran's Revolutionary Guard announces targeting Israeli air bases in new attacks. Jesus.
Conduct oversight, but they make it very, very difficult. I think we were each allowed maybe 15 minutes to talk with one detainee, and while we were touring, we engaged with others. But it really is a sad statement about exactly who is benefiting off of the trauma and the chaos that is being inflicted.
President Trump is considering U.S. strikes against Iran. Per the Wall Street Journal, the U.S. is reportedly considering strikes as possibility among a range of options.
That's a waste of taxpayer dollars. The person that Luis Rivas and I interviewed initially was obeying the law. He was showing up for all of his appointments. There's no reason to detain a person like that, right? And then finally, to further kind of buttress what my colleague Linda Sanchez is saying, when we finally were able to talk to about 8 individuals who were locked up because they were doing the count, the person count, they were in their quarters, an 8-man room, 8-man quarters. All of them were from Miami. Every single one of them was from Miami. One of them was a DACA person, a young DACA person he had DACA, was picked up while he was on the Virgin Islands on U.S. territory. He wasn't even coming back to the United States from someplace else. That person was not needing to be in a detention facility. It's a lot of profit per person. Thousands of dollars are being spent to keep these people in detention, and the American public is not being kept safer. They're just being made poorer because their tax dollars are being they're being spent unnecessarily.
Yo soy la congresista Luz Rivas. Nomás quiero saber si.
All right, we don't need that.
I think, we've got a lot of risks for that, particularly the deficit. And, that kind of thought that perhaps the U.S. bond market won't necessarily be the basis for the entire world anymore. I think that is becoming more and more of something to consider. I'm not saying it will happen, but the way that our deficit is heading and the fact that we're not necessarily dealing with certain things, like that has implications for stock valuations, for credit valuations, for everything. And that's where I get worried. But if you look at like mid-cap stocks, for example, which I know they tend to be riskier in an environment like this where there's more uncertainty, they are actually really cheap. Like their long-term valuation are 19 times. They're at 14.5 times if you agree with the earnings growth estimates, which actually are not very high. So I actually think there's positives here. The other thing I would say is that we've seen companies for the last few years allow their sales growth to be lower than their CapEx growth. And that has deepened even more for estimates for this year. And I think that will continue. Like I do think CapEx is something to be positive about.
Mag 7 maybe bottoming in flow.
So
S&P 500
with
same
the
thing.
sacrifice of free cash flow in the near term in that scenario?
If it brings you good returns,
Yeah.
right? Like if you
Energy is the only positive sector, right? Yeah. No shit,
Megan,
dude.
you mentioned earlier that you felt as if in general risks seem kind of
Right
balanced.
there.
They're certainly present on both
The
sides.
only green thing,
with
energy,
regard to
right
inflation,
here.
perhaps
XLE.
growth. Do you think the Fed's gonna
Everything
continue
else
to
is
see
now
it that
red.
way when we hear from Chair Powell tomorrow? And I
Yes.
think you're kind of thinking the Fed's going to be forced into easing soon. Does that mean that growth's the bigger
Powell
issue?
tomorrow, 2 p.m.
Yeah, we do see there's a lot of concern about the inflationary impact of tariffs, and we do see them as more disinflationary than inflationary because we see the hit to growth outweighing any increase in prices, with
99.9% chance we
really
stay
the
at
main punchline
4.25%.
being that if you have to pay higher prices for goods, you're
99.9.
probably going to offset that with less spending on the services side. So we have a view that the Fed will leave the door open tomorrow to a rate cut starting in July and then cut by 100 basis points this year because there is so far no evidence of
Wow. This
really
is
reaccelerating
crazy.
inflation, and it's at the Fed target, and we are a little bit more cautious on the growth outlook with about a 50-50
Bitcoin holding.
recession
How's the dollar
probability
doing?
this year. So as we think
Dollars
about positioning
rallying.
portfolios, great point about valuations for
Gold
smaller
took a
companies,
hit,
but I would say
recovering a bit.
we're more comfortable paying up for the
Bonds
relative
are even
stability
ripping,
of
Jesus.
earnings and profitability
Yields
of larger
plummeting.
companies than smaller companies today because they're just more exposed to a slowing economy, more exposed to supply chain disruptions, and there's a lot of risk there, which probably partially explains why they're trading at a discount to large cap.
Peter, describe what you would define as, stagflationary risk. We talking about, inflation being sticky around these levels, maybe a little bit of a bump higher, and unemployment leaking upward from here, or is it something more onerous than that?
Well, I think Megan actually articulated it pretty well. Bouts of inflation.
This is the whole Israel-Iran thing is crazy, and then this just makes the whole situation that much more complicated. If you're actively trading right now, whether day trading, swing trading, best of luck, but it's nothing but a pure guess. This is just whipsaw central.
Stagflationary scenario. Unfortunately, now you have the geopolitical risk of higher oil prices in a conflict that may not be as quickly resolved as some may think. And so I'm not saying it's like the oil shock that we saw in the 70s, but when you combine what were lower oil prices, now higher oil prices with tariffs in the near term, let's call it 3 to 6 months, you see sticky inflation, which forces the Fed to hold.
Yeah, she took no questions
which
today.
exacerbates the slowdown in growth. So I think I see it the same way as Megan does.
If that all were to play out in that way, it would seem as if, longer-term Treasury yields might not, have a whole lot of ability to stay elevated. Would you think that's the case, Peter?
Yeah, I think it's the sort of timing of it is that the Fed is stuck for a bit. Longer yields have stayed sticky for a bunch of reasons. Let's not forget that the tariffs created a deposit flight from U.S. banking institutions, and on the other side of the balance sheet, from the deposit liability or Treasury assets, and oftentimes bank will sell those Treasuries and longer dated Treasuries in some cases to fund the deposit withdrawals. And so I think we've had an unusually sticky 10-year relative to really what has been slowly slowing growth. And I don't expect that to last. And at the end of the day, let's call it into the end of the year, I would expect 10-year Treasury yields to be lower as well.
Well, they are today, just
Mag
a bit
7
under
trying to climb back up after a vomit.
On the 10-year,
trying to base
that Treasury bid that we didn't get on Friday with some of these headlines. Stephanie, Peter, Megan, thank you so much. Appreciate the time today. Let's get to Steve Kovac for a look at the biggest names moving into the close. Hey, Steve.
Hey there, Mike. Yeah,
it's
Verve
all
Therapeutics,
energy.
those shares are soaring after the gene editing startup agreed to be acquired by Eli Lilly in a deal worth up to $1.3.
All right, we don't need that for right now. What is this? Court appearance of suspect in New York City courthouse attack. That doesn't feel like it has anything to do with Israel, Iran. Is there any other news on Twitter here? Let me go over to this. No, the last thing I have is from 8 minutes ago. Now exiled Crown Prince of Iran, Reza something, says Islamic Republic has come to an end, says what has begun is irreversible. Okay. Okay, hang on. That's not going to work. Shit. All right, let me find this tweet for you. Apparently, he's not speaking in English here. Okay, what is this? The Islamic Republic has come to an end and is falling. What has begun is irreversible. The future is bright, and together we will navigate this sharp turn in history. Now this is time to stand. It is time to take back Iran. May I be with you soon. So this is the exiled crown prince. Dude, are we... Holy crap. My compatriots, Islamic Republic has come to an end and is falling. The leader is hidden underground like a frightened mouse and lost control of the situation. What has begun is irreversible. The future is bright, and together we will pass this sharp turn of history. In these difficult days, my heart goes out to all of the defenseless citizens who have been harmed and have fallen victim to the previous leaders' warmongering and illusions. I have tried for years to prevent our homeland from being caught in the fire of war. The end of the Islamic Republic is the end of its 46-year war with the Iranian nation. The regime's apparatus of is collapsing. Only a public uprising is needed. Dude, calling straight up for a public uprising. Now is the time to stand up. The time to take back Iran. This came out just now. Dude, this guy... So I didn't know they had an exiled crown prince who I guess is trying to make, let's see how he concludes this, but trying to make a comeback, dude. What is that? Map and hearing they raided the DEF CON alert. Haven't looked into it yet. All right, we'll have to check that out. Play a historic role in the transition from the Islamic Republic and participate in building the future of Iran. A free and prosperous Iran is before us. May I be with you soon. Jesus, he's literally calling for a political uprising. Wow. You guys are saying, is this AI? I don't believe so. I mean, I guess there's that risk. Rip Supreme for hiding like a scared mouse. Well, I saw Trump even popping off about this. Where did Trump pop off? He was saying that they could easily get this guy. Jesus, this is... Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. Well, we're kind of somewhat waiting to see if Trump if he's going to talk. Okay, that's more of a New York thing. Nothing's happening there. They're on a break. Bloomberg's not doing anything. Trump hasn't said anything in a second. Like I said, the only green sector is energy, and then Palo Alto Networks and CrowdStrike. We know tomorrow is going to be a big day on top of all the craziness we're having right now. In the morning, initial jobless claims. In the afternoon, the FOMC decision. And then at 2:30, Jerome Powell will be speaking. 99.9% chance that we get no rate change. And what are we doing? We're just kind of chilling sideways at this point. We're just chilling sideways. I very much need the market above 5,990 by close, even if it's by 1 cent. Even if it's by 1 cent, I just need it up here. I had some puts. I sold puts at 5,990. And I did not get out in this vomit, which was stupid of me. So right now I'm at the point of praying that we get above 5,990 at close at 4 p.m. when the market closes in 38 minutes. I just need, it doesn't matter if it's $10 or 1 cent. I just need us above that white line. That's all I need. That is all I need. All right. So Fox is talking about New York. AWS unveils updated CPU server. They're not doing anything there. What's Colin saying? Nothing. That was his most recent one. Right here. This is the guy, I guess, running the show in Iran as of right now. We know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. He's an easy target, but is safe there. We are not going to take him out, kill, at least not for now. But we don't want missiles shot at civilians or American soldiers. Our patience is wearing thin. Thank you for your attention on this matter. And then also unconditional surrender. Yeah, things are a bit tense. A wee bit tense, if you will. A wee bit tense. Wow. Crazy. Wow. Wow. This is nuts. I'm actually surprised gold isn't up more. European Union says trade talks with the U.S. are advancing. That was 3 hours ago. A little bit of one little sliver of positive news. Who is this dude? When they lied to us about the buffet being all you can eat, I think this is the guy who's the mayor candidate who just got arrested by ICE today. Justin, U.S. moving fighter jets to the Middle East per Fox. Jesus. Trump has become more inclined to strike Iran's nuclear facilities. That was an hour ago per CNN. Israeli intelligence reportedly showed Iran is working on a trigger useful for a nuclear bomb, and the U.S. believes that Iran hasn't decided to build a nuclear weapon, and Trump says Tehran is very close. Trump is meeting with his National Security Council in the Situation Room, reportedly to decide whether to strike Iran or not. So that was about an hour ago. Congressman Massey introduces the Iran War Powers Resolution to prohibit U.S. involvement in the Israel-Iran war. 2 hours ago, Iran calls on Israelis to evacuate Tel Aviv. And okay, that was 2 hours ago. What's the hot news right now? Apparently, there's in New York Jews against deportations. They're getting very niche groups. Hey, I'm almost back to where I need to be. I'm almost back to where I need to be to not fucking blow out on this trade. I just need it. Like I said, I just need it above 5,990. Those are the puts I sold early today, and they are not looking the best. They're actually in severe pain right now. Severe pain right now. What is Kramer saying in buying or Buying more, selling. Yeah, we just got to do the opposite. That's a smart call out. That's a smart call out. What are they yelling about here in New York?
That we have seen across this country. We need labor in it.
Bitcoin's going up. Oh, oil's taking a breather. So things, according to the market, are calming down a little bit. Oil down a little bit. Market a little bit of a pop. SPY's down 0.7. Qs are down 0.8. IWM 0.9. Bitcoin popping off of 103.6 back up to 105.3. Almost rallied $2,000 in an hour.
So we've got a team come to the office with ponchos. So we'll have some rain ponchos for you all here in a minute.
Oh, they have rain ponchos. All right, that's very kind of them. All right, nothing's going on there. This is talking about AWS. Bloomberg's not doing anything. We just need more updates from Trump to figure out what the fuck is going on. Yeah, his most recent thing at 12:22 was unconditional surrender, and that was right after basically saying we could take this dude out. It's like the top comment on something like this. Just people saying Donald Trump says no money should be given in foreign aid unless it's in the form of a loan. Do you agree? All right, that feels like it's just a bot. That feels like there's just a lot of bot stuff. Why are there just so many AI photos of Trump? Why are those the top things? Okay, sounds good if you say so. Wait, where did he go? Real Donald Trump. All right, I want to leave this up. Yeah, we've seen the heat map. I told you about tomorrow, where we got right to where I needed to be. So close I can taste it. So close I could taste it. All right. So as we're waiting to see how some of this plays out, and please yell at me in chat if all of a sudden there's news or something like that. But my question to all of you, and I kind of wanted to get a sense of where the community is at. Are you buying this dip? Do you think Powell will kind of use all of this crazy information and it's going to I guess get him to calm his tone tomorrow? And you think Powell's going to pop it? Do you think we're going to get news that it's going the other way and all of a sudden the U.S. is slinging missiles and China and Russia are pissed? Like, which way do you think it's going to break? Obviously, this is a heightened sense of emotion, a heightened sense of volatility. And whenever you see that in the market, obviously it represents opportunity. And I know the knee-jerk reaction is, okay, it has to be bad. But my counterexample to that would literally be Monday. So on the craziness of Thursday, market went down, down, down. And guess what? We rallied yesterday. Actually, a very green day yesterday. So just like, I get why it exists, but if you look at the history of the market, it doesn't necessarily react to the emotion of global crises the way you would think it is. So people are saying bad news, and I agree, this is very bad news. People are going to lose their lives there, but that doesn't necessarily perfectly correlate with the market actually going down. It doesn't. A thriving stablecoin ecosystem will drive demand for the private sector, and U.S. Treasuries backed by stablecoins. The newfound demand could lower government borrowing costs and help rein in debt. Treasury Secretary Bessent says crypto stablecoins can lower government borrowing costs and reduce national debt. Interesting. Same as tariffs down. Yeah. So the tariff inflation situation is not going to be helped by this because inflation goes up as energy prices go up. Oil is going to be tied to the production cost of so many different things. So the higher oil goes, the higher energy costs go, and the longer that they stay there, it would have a negative adverse impact, obviously, on really inflation because it's just going to jack up the prices of things. What does the market care more about, Powell, international trade, or international conflict? Well, we're about to find out, and obviously the intersection of all three. Puts on Matt's hairline. Well, that's just rude. I have a great hairline. Maybe in like a decade from now, I'd be with you on that particular bet. But right at this moment, on the day of my daughter's wedding, damn, slept in and missed the trade today. Anticipating chop tomorrow. I feel like just recently this has all been nothing but chop. Dude, I'm sweating right now. I know I look like a calm clam, but I really need price above 5,990. And the fact that we are this close is freaking me out. And we Don't know for another 30 minutes what's going down. Dude, like, why can't we just be battling it out at 6,000? Why can't the market makers right here? Where's the gamma map? Here's a look at the gamma map. We do have a bit of a positive node. Let me go to delta pressure. Delta pressure. Okay, this is suggesting 5990. Are they going to blow out Captain Condor at 5995? I thought Captain Condor was 5995. Yeah, it is. Oh no. 5990. It's 59. Captain Condor's at 5990, not 5995. Ooh. Look at all that negative. We have one more tool we could check here. Let me show you this. Let me show you one more tool. Is it this one? Yeah, this one right here. All right. Boom, bada boom, bada bing. So the path of least resistance, according to the delta setup, not the gamma setup, the delta setup, is either 5990 or 6025. And I have a feeling that 5990 makes a bit more sense. So that's exactly the strike I am at, which means I am not a happy camper. I am not a happy camper. All right, what is this is how things are setting up for the remainder of the trading week. Please remember that the trading week is a shortened trading week. The market is not open on Thursday, but this gives us an interesting idea of how things have changed. So here's the current open interest. Right now for today, we have slightly more puts than we do calls, nothing too special. Looking at tomorrow, Wednesday, same thing, slightly more puts than calls, but for Friday, the 20th, remember skipping the 19th, we have quite a bit of action going on at the 6,000 strike. That's this node right here. And there's actually more calls than puts. So that's the current open interest. Today's open interest change. More puts being traded for today, more puts being traded for tomorrow, and then actually on Friday, there's more calls being traded. So that's the open interest change. Here's the volume for today. More puts were traded today than calls, and you can see they were loving the 6,000. For tomorrow, slightly more puts, same thing for Friday, so not too much crazy there. The net situation, oh, this is interesting. So today's net situation was selling calls and selling puts, selling both of them. For tomorrow, we have call selling and put buying, so people are definitely hedging a little bit. But then yet for Friday, as of at least right now, we have a net situation of call buying and put selling. So we're between tomorrow, the 18th, and Friday, the 20th, we're definitely being told a slightly different story. It's quad witching. Yeah, Friday is quad witching. I have some videos on it if you don't know what that is, but basically 4 major types of contracts. Really, one of them is not popular at all. So you're going to also hear it referred to as triple witching. But basically a bunch of types of contracts all expire this Friday. You have futures for indices and for commodities. And then you have actual indexes. Basically, there's 3 to 4 major types of contracts that all expire this Friday. What you need to know about quadruple witching days is they are not associated with bullishness or bearishness. They are associated with a high amount of trade volume and generally volatility. And it happens 4 times a year. That's when all the contract expirations like align. So 2 types of futures, 2 types of options. And that's what we have going down this Friday. It's a very, very awkward one this time around, because of the FOMC meeting tomorrow, Juneteenth market closure on Thursday, and then obviously we were in the middle of a trade war, and apparently we're on the precipice of like a legit war. So we have a lot going down, making this particular one that much crazier. All right, so they're on commercial break. They've been on commercial break. What are these guys saying at closing bell?
An impressive rally since early April by really any measure, the persistence of it, the breadth of it, the magnitude of it, but it's slowed down. I was making this point, like in the last several weeks even, it's just kind of had this sort of like smaller steps, narrower ranges. What does that tell you, and how do you think it breaks from here?
So as a technician, when you see that type of pattern develop, the loss in momentum, and even over the last couple of weeks, the breadth has narrowed. Stocks above their averages, stocks at 52-week highs, that's contracted. You look around the globe, a number of global indices, both in DM and EM, have stalled in range since mid-May. That suggests rally exhaustion. And even we look for very specific patterns. Momentum divergence is one we're very focused on. That tells you there's a bias for the market to correct over the short term. We don't think it's going to be major, We think we could see a bit of backing and filling, maybe down to 5,800, 5,700s, given that setup. But that should be well supported there because the seasonals during the summer are still quite positive.
So that's like, call it a 5% pullback from the recent highs. You think is in the cards? Is there a way to try to reverse engineer why the market has been, I guess, as resilient as it has? I was even pointing out, we had that little break on Friday, and it didn't even get to its 20-day average, let's say, for the S&P 500.
That's right, yeah. And when you look at the technical setup, really for the last 2 weeks, it's been, as a chart watcher, you're like, okay, this is pretty negative. I should expect negative price action.
President Trump warned he is losing patience with Iran, calling for the unconditional surrender and saying he wouldn't target the country's leader for now as he escalated his rhetoric toward Tehran. That's from the Wall Street Journal. President Trump is considering a range of options against Iran that could include a U.S. strike. What is this one? No sound. Unconditional surrender. I guess they're not. Or wait, hang on. Let's chill with these guys for a second. Oh, just pensive music. Unconditional surrender. We know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. We are not going to take him out. Kill! At least not for now. Wow. The comments came amid U.S. military buildup in the region, which the Pentagon said is purely defensive.
We're not looking for a ceasefire. I didn't say I was looking for a ceasefire. We're looking for better than a ceasefire.
Better than a ceasefire. President Trump denied reports he left the G7 summit early to work on the Israel-Iran ceasefire. That's because he's looking for better than a ceasefire.
What are you looking for here? And then a real end, not a ceasefire. And then so something that will be permanent. Or giving up entirely. That's okay too. Are you close there? Is that possible? Is that possible in the next 24? Why not? Certainly possible.
Trump said the U.S. would retaliate against Iran if attacked. Well, no shit, dude.
We'll come down so hard if they do anything to our people. We'll come down so hard that the gloves are off so beautifully. Now, I think they know not to touch our troops.
A U.S. official said a second U.S. carrier strike group was heading to the Middle East as part of a planned rotation. Yeah, right, dude. Planned rotation, my butt. Sirens rang out across Israel early Tuesday as Iran launched a fresh wave of missile strikes. The Israeli military said it killed Ali something, one of Iran's most senior military commanders, in an airstrike in Tehran. Oh, wow. Holy crap, dude. During a live broadcast, Trump had called for the immediate evacuation of Tehran and insisted that the country cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Remember, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. We don't have to go too deep into it. They just can't have a nuclear weapon.
What was the thinking on the call for Tehran to evacuate? Is there a threat or is there incoming? What was the thinking on the full evacuation?
I want people to be safe. And that's always possible. A thing like that could happen. I just want people to be safe.
All right. That wasn't... What else to know? The UN Atomic Agency said an Israeli strike directly hit the underground halls of Iran's largest enrichment facility. Germany's chancellor said Israel is doing the dirty work for other countries by striking Iran's nuclear sites. Oil prices rose again as Vice President J.D. Vance said President Trump may decide he needs to take further action to end Iranian enrichment. The Israeli military said it killed one of Iran's most senior military commanders in an airstrike in Tehran. Tehran's residents reported long lines at gas stations and traffic jams as people rushed to flee the city, anticipating more attacks. Jesus. With Israel's major airport shut down, citizens and tourists scrambled to get home. Oh, Jesus. All right. I guess that's where we're at with the Wall Street Journal. What are they? What is this one? court hearing. Trump versus Newsom over National Guard deployment. I forgot about that. Shit. It bounced right off the level I need it.
For example, I think need to be looked at least with some caution before they're too readily or quickly applied to the circumstances of the sort we have here.
Those are maybe good arguments for the Supreme Court to reconsider those cases, but they've told us repeatedly that one.
I think the world's over Newsom. I think we have bigger fish to currently fry. All right. Is there another broadcast covering any? Trump wants a reel in, not just a ceasefire. What's this one about?
Delivering more land troops to a specific area that has the ability to reach that. But if you start to deploy U.S. troops into that area beyond what we already have, like onto Israeli soil, you might see some additional.
Are we? I don't want to speculate on anything, but I mean, we'll have to see kind of ultimately where this all goes, right? In terms of the U.S. involvement and what that particularly means, whether it's deploying, aircraft carriers or something more.
Oil tankers collide near the UAE, Israel-Iran conflict disrupts shipping.
Based off of risk for the political environment that you're in, the geopolitical area. So you really are looking at it.
If Iran's oil is cut off, China will pay the price.
What is going to be too much of an escalation? I talked to you guys about action, reaction, and counteraction. And from that perspective is when you look at that is my action going to cause an unrealistic or unpredictable response back? And that is one of the areas that we look at both in the U.S. From the Department of Defense side, but all the other militaries do that as well. Iran's doing that based off of
Trump meets with security team after demanding Iran's surrender.
And then the same thing that Israel's doing based off of how their attacks are affecting the political landscape as well as the decision calculus of those leaders.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Hey, Wayne, thank you so much again for being available for us to check in as this situation continues to
Mag
evolve.
7
That
is actually picking up
Bloomberg
right now.
Intelligence
Not in
Senior
price,
Defense
but it's picking up
Wayne, as we mentioned,
in
a
Delta
former colonel
flow.
in the U.S. Army, so really gets to see
Spies
this from
getting hit.
several different perspectives, I guess I should say. All right, folks, we've got about 18, 19 minutes to go until we wrap up the trading day.
Yeah, let's go to Charlie Pellet, who's got an update.
All right, people are getting out of puts. The put delta's rising.
Stocks lower across the board. The Dow, the S&P, NASDAQ, very close to session lows. But let's head
Dude,
over
that guy
to the
has
first
quite the
breaking
voice.
news desk for today's afternoon call. Here he is, Bill Maloney.
And good afternoon, Charlie. U.S. stocks
Bill
are under
Maloney.
pressure on Middle East worries. The Dow is currently down 320 points. S&P's dropped 50, and NASDAQ is lower by 0.8%. The U.S. 10-year is at 4.39. Gold is little changed. Oil is surging. But Bitcoin, that's lower by 3.7%.
Damn, this is not what I wanted to see in the
energy was in
close.
the green. Healthcare and consumer discretionary were under pressure. And leaders to the upside in the Dow, Chevron and Visa, while Nike
Fuck.
fell 3%.
These past
and
4
led to
minutes
the
have not been
downside.
good for me.
After earnings, Jabil jumped as much as 13%. And in deal news, Eli Lilly is buying a biotech Verve for $1.3 billion. In the pharma space, the administration is said to consider a crackdown on pharma ads and wrapping things up.
S&P down 0.8%.
Ending after it unveiled a new AI-powered advertising tool. It includes a listening tool called Reddit Insights to help marketers identify trends and launch their campaigns. Another tool called Conversation Summary add-ons allow brands to show positive user content under their ads. Shares are up about 6 and change on that one. Meantime, T-Mobile shares are pulling back on a report that SoftBank sold 21.5 million shares of the company in an unregistered overnight sale. SoftBank raised about $4.8 billion
Decent
through the
bounce,
sale,
actually,
according to the
from
report. T-Mobile shares, they're
245
down
till now in
about
the Mag
4%,
7.
their worst day since April. Mike.
All right, Steve, thank you.
Despite
Still
trying
ahead,
to catch
the
its
solar
footing.
stock slide. Pippa Stevens is breaking down the big move lower in that space today. The bell is back after this break.
The bell. The bell. All right. Well, while we have about 15 minutes left in the day, what are you guys doing? Are you guys buying this dip, or are you guys selling any form of a rip? Where are you guys at on this? Where are you guys at on this? Do you think this is a buy the dip opportunity, or do you think, not from a global tension standpoint, exclusively from a market standpoint, do you think things are going to get worse before they get better? Do you think they are going to get worse before they get better? Calls on SPX. Interesting. I mean, the market does do crazy things, and I know, as insane as it seems, like, the market does often have some rallies in craziness like this, and I get it. I know that it seems absolutely insane. Did you see the crazy story about the Saudi prince? I did not. Buying, vaping, fapping. Dude, the 3 tenets of life. Jesus. Diagonals. Worse before better. Bought some BTC while arranging PowerPoint slides. What else would you be arranging? Every time I've been bullish these days, every time I get ripped off. FOMC dip buy. Well, that's still the whole crazy thing you got to consider for tomorrow. There's no reason for the market to go down over the next 2 years. Well, that's a bold statement. That is definitely a bold statement. Worse before better, methinks. In the market or just like globally? Obviously, global tensions are extraordinarily high right now. Extraordinarily high. I was curious if we were going to be getting the Trump discussion or update on his security meeting before market close, but he doesn't even have 15 minutes. What's Kramer saying? I guess you could listen to Mad Money after the market closes, but he's not going to be chatting before. Trump's meeting has ended. Yeah, but there's been no public statement on it yet. I think that's a good assumption, i.e. worse before better. But as you said, market is pretty crazy. How's Texas Roadhouse doing? That one only goes up. Trump national security meeting ends after over an hour. Trump meeting with the national security team in the Situation Room has ended. It lasted for over an hour. All right. And what's the result of it? Senior Houthi official, we will intervene to support Iran against Israel like they did with Gaza. All right. If you say so. If you say so. Trump national security meeting ends after. Okay. I don't know why it's being reported. I see why it's being reported that it ended, but like, are we supposed to gather something from the time? Lindsey Graham, I would like to see this regime fall if we don't take out their nuclear program now. While we get it, we're very close. Be all in, Mr. President.
Blood on their hands. I hope it's eliminated. I would like to see this regime fall, but I'm going to leave it up to the president as to what to do and when to do it. But I do know this. If we don't take out their nuclear program now, we'll all regret it. We're very close. Be all in, Mr. President, in helping Israel finish the job, and let's see where we're at after we neutralize their nuclear program. Blood on their hands. I hope
Lindsey Graham gets off on war. That guy, he's so about it. He's so fucking about it. All right, what a time. All right, we have 2 minutes until the market on close bot. Dude, for my position to not blow out, I just need us above 5,990. That's all I need. Right when 4 p.m. hits, as long as this is 590.01 or higher, I win. That's all I need. 4 p.m. today, above 590. I sold those puts. Liquidity's drying up. We only have 10 minutes left anyway. The market on close bots are going to run at 350. MOC, market on close, that's when all of those bots run. So right at 350, you're going to see a spike in craziness. So we're about 75 seconds out from that. But I just need us above this line. That's all I need. I don't care if it's a cent. I don't care if it's $10. I just need us right above where my cursor is, right where we hit at 337. Come on. Come on, dip buyers. Mag 7 not trending the right way. SPY, nothing's trending my way. Come on. I need to pull a magic rabbit out of my hat. A magic rabbit out of my hat. Come on. Just pop it. Just pop it. All right, we are 30 seconds out. 30 seconds out from the market on close bots running. They run at 350 every day. That's when some big players place some big trades. And that's exactly why you see things go haywire for about a minute, whatever, 30 seconds, right at 350 every day. Sometimes there's another round of bots at 355, but the 350 ones are a little bit more powerful, just a bit more trades, a bit more dollar volume. But this is going to go in 3, 2, 1. All right. Fuck. All right. Do I hear above 5,990? Fuck. No. 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 JP Morgan is to pilot a deposit token on Coinbase Link blockchain. White House official, Trump's meeting with the National Security Council has ended. Okay, we know that. What was the actual MOC numbers? Back above 90? Do I hear back above 90? Come on. Back above 90. They're playing with my heartstrings now, folks. They're playing with my heartstrings now. Fuck. Okay, the market on closed imbalance. S&P 500 positive 472 million. NASDAQ 100 positive 555 million. Dow 30 positive 229. Mag 7 positive 331. So the market on close imbalance was positive for the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the Mag 7. Positive on all four, and yet I'm getting fucked still. All right. Well, what matters is where we are at 4 p.m. This is when you trade SPX. I'm not talking about SPY. When you trade SPX, the actual S&P 500, it is a European style contract. There's no risk of early exercise. They are cash settled, not physically settled. And all that matters is where you are at 4 p.m. exactly. Right when the market closes, that's all that matters. Are you above or below? Did you sell puts? Did you sell calls? Did you buy puts? Did you buy calls? That's all that matters. That is all that matters. And this is not going the way I need it to. Fuck. Come on. Hang on. Fuck. Yeah, this isn't looking so good, too. It looked good at first, all those positive numbers, and then it faked me out, and then the fake out got faked out, and then right here, 1 minute later, it got actually goosed. It got actually, shit. This is quickly going away from where I need it. Come on, bounce back. All I need is right here. 5,990. 5,990. That's all I'm asking for. That's all I'm asking for. We were so close, yet so far away. So close, yet so far. More green. More green. Come on. You know what? We're going to cheat a little, folks. We're going to cheat a little. When in doubt, cheat. We're just going to... Right here. The old magnet technique. The old magnet technique. Maybe we need a couple... Is the only thing that's going to make it work. The only thing that could possibly make this work are giant come on. I need bigger magnets. I need rocket. I need something. Jesus. Everything dude. This is what happens when you have dark pools in the market. Jesus. No, this is not looking good, team. This is not looking good. Come on, more. I feel like my magnets are failing on me. What else can I possibly do? Maybe I need to make it green. What can I do? Green. Maybe I need a bigger magnet. Giant magnet. Do a little green rocket. We'll add a little support there. We'll just... No, fuck. It just keeps gapping down. It just gapped down like 2 points. Nothing I do. My emojis are failing me. Shit. Stop. Stop the insanity. Pop it. Yes. That's what we need. Yes. Yes. Go. Go. Go do it. Go more. More. Yes. Yes. Everyone, I need your help. Please put your magnets on the chart. Please put your green rockets on the chart. Obviously, I am fighting a serious boss level here. I don't think I could be able... Fuck, dude. You guys aren't doing it. I could tell you guys aren't doing it. Put them on your charts. Put them on your charts right fucking now. For the love of everything holy. Come on. Come on. Get us up. Get us up. Why can't we at least be at 88? Come on. Come on. Come on. Go. 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 More. Más. Vamos. Vamos. Please put them on your... You gotta put them on your charts. I'm going to have no shot here if you guys don't grow up and act your age. If I lose this trade, I'm sending you all a bill. I want that on record before the market closes. You have 3 minutes and 5 seconds to figure out your life right now. If I lose this trade, you will all be getting a bill in the mail. As my financial advisors, this is your fault if I lose. This is 100% undoubtedly your fault if this trade does not hit. You have the ability to... No, fuckers. You have the ability to save me. After all I've done for you, and this is how you guys treat me. After all I've done for you, and this is how you treat me. Son of a bitch. Wrong way. Dude, we're running out of time. We're running out of time. Pump it. Pump it, you fuckers. Come on. Dude, it's not even close to where I need it. This is not looking good. This is not looking good. Shit. Come on. Go. More. Someone buy it. We don't even have fucking 2 minutes left. Jesus. We're so far away. This isn't going to hit. I need a miracle. Just because you dickheads aren't putting the magnets on your chart. You're not putting enough rockets on a chart. Fucking. This is all your fault. I'm sub 90 seconds and it's not even close to where I need it. Fuck. Bro. I need a miracle minute here. A miracle minute. Come on. End it. Just a God candle. Come on. 60 seconds. 60 seconds. Just pump it for 1 minute. Fuck. Well, this sucks ass. It literally fell 10 points instead of going up 10 points. This is all your fault. This isn't even my fault. This is your fault. I don't even have 30. This is... Dude, they're not even giving me a green bar. Like, not even a green bar. Well, I'm fucked. 5, 3, 2. Fucking dickheads. Well, where did it settle? 82. So Captain Condor got blown the fuck out. Jesus. Blown out. Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed in all of you. I'm not mad. But I can safely say I hate you. Not mad at you. But I definitely hate all of you. 100%. 100%. I absolutely hate all of you. Oh, Piper got fucking clapped there. Jesus Christ. Wow. Well, this is going to set up for a very interesting day tomorrow. Tomorrow with the FOMC decision. Oh, so initial jobless claims is coming out at 8:30 a.m., an hour before the market opens. Then Jerome Powell will be speaking at 2:30, but a half hour before that at 2 p.m., we get the results of the interest rate decision. So that's all going down tomorrow afternoon. And then obviously between now and market open, dude, and the market's fucking pumping right now. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? This is so stupid. So fucking stupid. I hate trading. Where was I at? Tomorrow, 2 p.m., 2:30, but between now and tomorrow morning, even with the initial jobless claims, I assume things are going to be going absolutely crazy with this whole Israel-Iran thing. So, dude, put on your notifications, put on your favorite news source, because we are going to be in for a wild remainder of the week. Really, from now until market goes dingity ding 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 on Friday. The fact that the market's closed on Thursday really does add like a whole complication to this thing. It's gonna be crazy. Gonna be absolutely crazy. So, hey, I guess size down, do what you know you need to do, and I will catch you guys tomorrow morning. We're going to be doing 2 streams tomorrow. We're going to be streaming at 9 a.m. for market open, as we normally do, and then we're going to be doing the specialty show at 2 p.m. for the interest rate decision, and then also Jerome Powell's press conference. So like today, a double stream day, that's also going to be our day tomorrow. So double stream show today, double stream show tomorrow. So that's what we have going on. Get some rest, because you're definitely going to need it for tomorrow. You want to be on your A game, and let's see how we can all do it from there. That's what I have for you now. I'll catch you guys mañana. Best of luck. Peace.